A. So firstly, my name is AMANINA. My metro number is 19036.
Ni tak yakin.
Okay, my name is HANISAH ZAWANI PG SAPARI, metri number 190152.
So basically, first things first, we have bird here. So firstly, we are going to observe the external anatomy of the bird. So basically, this is the bird. The external anatomy of bird is divided into 4 parts, which is head here, the neck, the trunk, and the tail. This is the tail of the bird. So firstly, we are going to observe the head of the bird. At the head, it consists of the beak. This is the beak, beak, which is we also known as rostrum. It consists of 2 parts, which is upper beak, which also known as rostrum maxilla, and the lower beak. This is the upper beak, and this is the lower beak. Both are made up of a body base and are covered by a horny shape. And then second part is the nares. You can see here, this is the nares. Okay, the nares is also known as external nares, located near the beak base, which is this is the beak base, and this is the nares. The third organ is eyes. You can see this the eyes. Okay. It's the eyes of the bird. It has upper eyelids, lower eyelids, and nictitating membrane. And then the external ear, which is located behind the eyes. Okay. And then also the lips. We can see the lips. The lips, cheeks, and teeth are lacking in the domestic birds. The next, and then we go to the second part of the body, which is the neck. The neck is long and mobile. We can see here the neck is from here and here. Then for the body part, the trunk, all part of the body are covered with feathers. This is the feathers covered except for the shank of the legs, the feet, which have scales into those in reptiles, and the beak. So we can see that the legs have a scale, and the beak also have some scales. The forelimbs are modified as wing. The forelimb is modified as wing, while the hind limb are strong walking legs. So this is the forelimbs, which in bird we are modified for wings, and the hind limbs are for a walking leg. So lastly, we go to the tails. You can see this is the tail. The tail is extremely short, known as rectrices, a large circle of large feathers. A transverse cloacal opening is beneath the tail. Cloaca. This is cloaca. Combining the opening of the digestive, excretory, and reproductive system. So basically, all the 3 systems, which is digestive, excretory, and reproductive system, are all here. Alright. Okay, now we are going to observe the feathers of the birds. So basically, feathers are modified scales. So there is 4 types of feathers, which is the contour feathers, the flight feathers, which is also known as regimes. The third is the down feathers, which is also known as plumose, and lastly the phyloplumes, which is also known as hair feeders. So firstly, we are going to observe the first feeder, which is contour feeders. It is a form of general covering of the body, uh, known as contour feeders, and including the large flight feeders of the wings, body covers feeders, the ventricles, and the tails. So basically, we can find the contour feeders basically at here. So as we can see, this is the alright. This is the contour feeders. Alright. And then we go to the flight feeders, which is also known as regimes. So we have to open up the wing of the bird, so we can see this is the feeders, the flight feeders. So there is three types of regimes, which is primary regimes, secondary regimes, and tertiary regimes. So we have to identify which is the primary, secondary, and tertiary. So for the primary, we have to count for 10, and it is known as primary. So this is first, second, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So this is the primary regimes. So the other 10 is a secondary regime. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So this is the secondary regimes, and the rest of the feeders is known as a tertiary regime. So basically, the primary regimes is a feeders around the digits and the metacarpus. The second regimes, also known as feeders around the ulna bone, this is the ulna bone. And the tertiary regimes, which is here, is also known as feeders around the humerus bone. Alright, that's all for the flight feeders. So, and then we go to the down feeders, which is also known as a plumose. Basically, we can chiefly found in the cheek and water birds, but some are found beneath the contour feeders in the adult. The calamus is extremely short at the barbs arise from it. They are generally small with a weak, soft shaft and soft vein, and lies close to the skin. The barbus have no hooklet. So we can see here, this is basically the down feeders can be found near the cheek of the bird. It is basically have no hooklet. This is the down feeders. It's very small and no hooklet, right? And then lastly, for the last feeders, which is phylloplumous, which is hair feeders. The hair feeders is small hair-like structure, veinless, found underneath the contour of the feeders of the body. Each consists of a main axis with a few terminal barbs. So the phylloplums, we have to struggle a little bit to find the phylloplums, which is alright. This is the phylloplums, which is hair feeders.
Okay, after we remove some of the feathers and hairs in some part of the birds, we are going to see the internal anatomy of the bird. So first we need to cut the layer of the
So now we have opened up the skin of the bird. So here we can see the flesh. And then now we're going to open up the flesh to see the internal anatomy of the bird. You have to be so careful in order to cut the flesh. So now we have opened up the bird to see the internal anatomy.
Okay, now we are going to see the anatomy, internal anatomy of the bird. So as we can see here, so the first one from the top, this is the esophagus, and next to the esophagus is the trachea. Here, the long one. It's connected into the heart and also the lung. Okay, so next esophagus. This is the crops of the bird. Next, this is the heart. This one, and under the heart, this is the liver. They got like 2 chambers, 1 and 2. Okay, next, moving on. Under the liver, this is, we call it as gizzard. And next to the gizzard, this is the duodenum. Okay. Oh, I forgot to show you the lung. So this is the lung behind here. The red, bright red. Here, this is the lung. And this is the rib for the bird. Here, red. Also on both sides, here and here. Okay, next. Here. This is the large intestine, and it's actually connected to the cloaca. Of the bird, and after the cloaca, we will see the anus here, where the excretory part of the bird. This is the gallbladder. This one, small one. Here. Stop. Okay, next, if we go down here, we will see this is the kidney of the bird. It's a little bit hidden. We need to see it carefully. So this is the kidney, and on the upper side, this is the ovary that contain ova or eggs. Okay, I think that's all for the internal anatomy of the bird. Okay, now we will see the mouth part of the bird. So for the mouth, we have the mouth cavity or the big cavity. It consists of mouth cavity roof and also the tongue inside here. For the mouth cavity roof or the palatum, it consists of the upper jawbone and the choanal space or the opening in the roof of the mouth to serve a communication to the nasal cavity. So next, we'll see this is the tongue of the bird. It is pointed. It has pointed shape here, as you can see here. And the birds actually, they doesn't have any teeth. They are toothless. So now we are going to see the nervous system for the bird. So first thing that we have to do is we need to remove the skin and the feather from the head. So first I'm going to remove the feather.
now we want to cut the skin of the bird at the area of its head to open up the nervous system. So now we are struggling to open up the skull to see the brain, the nervous system. It's quite hard because it's hard. Ah, yes. What? Oh my god, what is that? Patah.
This is the general structure of brain of birds. If you can see here, this big size is the cerebral.
Yeah, we can see the brain of the bird there.
The cerebral hemisphere, you have cerebral optical lobe, and this one is the cerebellum. And this part under.
Alright, so last part of the bird dissection, the bird anatomy, is for the nervous system. So basically, we can identify the region of the brain from the dorsal side. So firstly, we can see this is the cerebral hemisphere. So it is a large with smooth surface and small olfactory lobes. Small olfactory lobes. And then the second thing is the cerebellum. So the cerebellum is here. Basically, the cerebellum behind the cerebral hemisphere with deep ridges across it transversely and a floccular lobe on the other side. Third, the pineal body, which is also known as the epiphysis. The pineal body is here at the small thing here. You can see it clearly. So basically the pineal body is found between the two cerebral hemisphere and the cerebellum. So this is the cerebral hemisphere. This is the cerebellum, and at the center it is the pineal body. And lastly, for the medulla oblongata, basically the medulla oblongata is here. It is the most posterior part of the brain which passes into the spinal cord that leads through the foramen magnum. So, and also we can see this is the eye of the bird. The optic lobe, so I think it's not clearly seen here because it's at the back. And this is the cranial bone. Alright.